We are now.
Hi, Jeff Campbell here from... All right, so this...
1926 Model T, firing it up. Look at that.
This is all original. There's been a little rebuilding work done to it, but it's a completely stock engine. There's nothing different than there would have been 100 years ago.
And how much horsepower are we talking about here?
Very little. I don't know exactly, but it's not very much at all. It's very minimal. It's just enough that when you start going up a hill, you wonder, you just pet it and you say, come on, old girl, you can get up this hill.
Okay, so about 20 horsepower.
Yeah, or less, or less. Not much. But it's even got the sediment filter on it. So the sediment bowl where any sediment from the tank, because the gas goes in up here, and then it comes down into the sediment bowl. And then when I turn this on, of course, that lets the fuel flow down to the carburetor.
Right.
But any sediment will settle out in here, much like it does in a tractor, and then you can clean this out later if you had to.
We're familiar with that kind of stuff in boats too. Diesel fuel polisher.
I'm sure you are. So then I go in.
Okay, we'll come around here and...
Yep. And you can, with these old cars, I have to get in the passenger door because in the driver's door, it's a little difficult to get in past that. This is the handbrake.
Right.
And so I always climb in first through that side. So with starting it, I can leave that open, it might be easier to see.
Okay. Yeah, great.
So starting this, with a Model T, there's a number of things. There's a Spark Advance,
okay.
Which is right here. This is the throttle on this side. The horn is where the horn always is. And then the key ignition turns on the battery power to the coils.
Okay.
And when I put this up, you'll often hear the coils, they're called buzz coils. You'll hear them buzzing. Hear them? They're jumping.
Yes. Yep, I hear it.
See, off and on?
Yep, I hear it.
Yep, so when I push that up and I give it a little bit of choke, and the starter is right down here at my feet. So, and sometimes it takes 2 times.
Hey, how about that? Jeff, I was kind of hoping you'd have to crank it.
Oh, I was kind of hoping I wouldn't. I'll back it out.
That is awesome. Love it.
So with a Model T, there are 3 pedals down here. The left pedal is your gear selector.
Okay.
So all the way down to the ground is low gear.
Okay.
Up and released is high gear. Neutral is halfway down.
Okay.
So it's remembering not to shove it to the floor because you're not going to stop.
You'll just go slow.
It takes a bit of retraining of the mind. And then the middle pedal is your reverse.
Oh.
So you have to hold this one in neutral halfway down while you're pushing this one down and looking behind you and adjusting the throttle and steering.
Oh, is that all?
And that's all. And then this one is your brake, obviously.
Okay.
So
right where the gas pedal would be.
Where the gas pedal would be. This is your gas pedal here. So
holy smokes.
There's plenty to keep track of when you're doing this.
Fabulous. Now,
And this is a luxury liner because you can take passengers with you. And in the summer, if the weather's nice, we just have to, I'll turn this off, it'll be a little easier to hear. In the summer, I can undo these clasps here.
Yep.
This lifts off. The whole thing will fold back and back behind the back seat. So then you have your convertible.
nice.
And this top was new this spring because they only last so many years with the sun, and then they,
Sure, yeah.
although this sits inside, but they also redid all the bands inside here, which was a great thing. Now, the highest tech thing on this in 1926 was the windshield wiper. And your adjustable up and down only rear view mirror, which you can only see through that little bit. So, and one tail light.
Right.
So, and a spare, it does have a spare.
We got a spare tire, yes. which I imagine would have been used frequently at this point in time.
Yeah, back then with the corduroy roads and with just log-covered roads, you know,
Yep.
and gravel and rough terrain. The neat thing was that it's a 26. That's the year it was made. My great uncle had a 26. My grandfather's brother had a 26 Willie's Night.
Yes.
And he passed in the 70s. And my cousin brought out that plate to me. He still had his dad's license plate off the 26 Willie's Night. And he said, your car is the same year. Dad would want you to have that. So I made a little mount for it, just a simple mount, and put that on it. And that's kind of a cool little thing.
Love it. That's great. So by 26, Henry Ford had obviously gone past the any color you want, so long as it's black phase, which was simply a production economics issue. It was the cheapest paint and it dried the quickest. So that's what you got.
True. You didn't used to get a high gloss finish like this either. This was done, from what I can tell, it was done right around the 70s or 80s, refinished. I'm the fourth owner of this since new. It was sold new to a doctor in Gravenhurst.
Mm-hmm.
He had it from 26 to 55.
Wow.
And then the owner of the radio station in Aurelia bought it in 55, drove it home in the wintertime from Gravenhurst. His son remembers driving as a little boy with it sitting in the back, and he said it was cold. There were side curtains, but it was still cold.
You'd have no heater, of course, yes.
Came down Highway 11,
So,
and then it was in Aurelia since then.
The car, you could say, is climate controlled. When it's a warm climate, you're warm inside. When it's a cold
you're dealing with
climate,
whatever climate there is. But it's an interesting car.
I love the color. It looks really good.
Well, it was neat about a week ago. Well, last Monday was the holiday Monday, and I took it to Aurelia, drove it to Aurelia, and I took the lady out who I bought it from. It was her husband's car.
Right.
And he was the same year as the car. They were both 26s. So she's in her 90s, and we took it for a ride all through town, and she reminisced about where they had gone together over the years in it, and it was quite a rewarding experience for both of us.
I think I saw your Facebook post on that, and I really have to commend you for all the preserving local history, and just it's reminding that things from the past, there were people attached to these things, and
Absolutely.
It's neat to sort of geek out about the vehicle, but yeah, there were people
a life
attached.
With people and real people.
Yep, indeed.
But that's a nice way to say I'm a nut, Kurt.
Car nut, certified and a tractor nut.
Yep. And anyway, it's a beauty of a car.
Oh, it's lovely. And you've done a great job as caretaker, because we never really own them, we're just caretakers.
That's what I say all the time, I'm just a caretaker.
No, you've done very well with that. That's great. That's great. So do we get to go up and down the road?
We can, sure. I'll show you first the battery.
Sure.
Just because it's an interesting, you go here and I'll go over this way. So if you have to change, it's a 6-volt battery.
Okay.
This is the cover and tools for it. It's real high tech.
Look at that. That's a floorboard.
There's the battery. And I dare say these are probably the original floorboards.
I'm sure they are. And they've weathered well.
And they have weathered well, but the car never sits out. Unless it's at a show.
Well, it must have had a pretty sheltered life since 26 to be in this solid a shape.
So 4 owners. I'm the 4th owner. The couple before me, it was always just stored all winter, drained out and stored. And I'm the same. It just sits in the shop. Drain the water out of it.
Yep.
And see it in the spring.
Fabulous.
But yeah, let's go for a tour.
Okay.
Hop in. I'll go in this way and you can hop around.
Okay. I was secretly hoping this would happen.
Now,
okay.
Now, this is when it'll probably not start or not run right, but Murphy's Law.
Okay.
So the door has a trick to it. Nobody can get it right. You have to think of somebody you don't like. There.
Okay.
Wasn't you, by the way.
No. I hope not. Hey, there we are.
The other thing I wanted to show you is this operates not only as the choke,
right,
but the mixture, the fuel and air mixture. So turning it left is richer, turning it right is leaner, and you have to get that right too, or it won't run right.
Of course.
So you have a million things to think of when you're driving this. So I release the handbrake.
Okay.
And then I've got my foot on the left pedal, and I don't want to hit that very nice car there.
Please don't.
So I'll just turn it,
Hey, look at that.
and that's low gear.
That's fabulous.
And then once we get out in the open road here, get it up to speed, and then I'll change it to high gear. I throttle down and shift
Okay.
up. So
All right.
now my feet aren't on the pedals at all.
It's cruise control,
And
self-driving.
that's high gear.
Look at that. That is just great.
And that's about top speed pretty
Okay.
well. So you don't go anywhere in a hurry.
No, you don't.
But that's not the purpose of it anyway.
Well, compared to horse travel,
Oh, it
being,
was
this is
a
leagues
world
ahead.
better. Yeah.
Oh, and look at the sunset. Nothing beats a country sunset.
That's for sure.
Oh, this is fabulous. I've always thought having something like this or a Model A Ford would be a real blast.
A Model A was my dream to get next. It still is, because a Model A, I could take it on roads that are a little higher speed.
Right.
This is much more limited,
Yeah.
and it has some more gear selections.
But nothing fancy like Synchromesh.
Oh my goodness. But these cars, you know, you can get a Model T reasonably priced these days. Model A's are still holding their value up a fair bit.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been top of the list yet, but one of these days. So now we hope the brakes work.
Speaking of brakes, so I assume they are cable and not hydraulic.
They're optional. This model didn't have any. No, I'm just kidding. This has transmission brake bands.
Okay.
So underneath my right foot here
Yes.
is the transmission housing underneath some floorboards.
Yeah.
And what I do is I can make adjustments to the tension on the bands.
Okay.
So I had the bands replaced this spring, but they just, with adjustment, they last for years and years.
Okay. So in terms of operating costs on this vehicle, you're not daily driving it, obviously.
No, for my insurance company's purposes, this is not a daily driver to work. It's a pleasure-only vehicle, so I don't drive it as much as I'd like to because of time. But
Sure.
you know, most weekends, if it's nice, I take it out for a couple hours, and then of course it goes away all winter.
Yep, of course, of course. But for operating costs, is it necessarily
It's
intense or?
it takes the fuel goes in there, and it doesn't cost. I mean, the oil is changed once every number of years because
Sure.
of lack of use, and the gas is the highest cost right now. And finding a 6-volt battery
Is that sort
getting
of
to be
unusual?
harder.
Yeah. Okay.
used to be easier. All my tractors are 6-volt batteries too. Not everybody has them anymore.
Okay.
So a lot of people are switching over to 8-volt or 12 and converting things, but
Right.
I like the originality, although it is frustrating sometimes when there's not the amps for cranking it over.
Fortunately, it's not exactly a big block engine either,
No,
so.
no, it's not. No, it's not, but I'll tell you, when I was a little kid, about 7 or 8, I watched my grandpa, who was in his 80s, crank a tractor, which I still have, and it kicked backfired and broke his arm.
Oh, wow.
And he had been starting tractors all his life, and he knew how to do it, but it still broke his arm. It kicked back, and he had his arm in the wrong spot, and he had it in a sling for weeks.
Jeez. Well, you got to have respect for your equipment, no matter the vintage or.
Certainly do. But this old car will just cruise like this all day long.
And happy as a clam doing it too.
He's a clam.
I mean, assuming clams can be happy. It's kind of a silly saying, actually.
This is a real pearl, that's for sure.
Indeed.
This is a way I often take people for tours. It's just a nice round the block.
Right. And quite a block it is. I mean,
And beautiful waterfront houses. It's very nice.
yeah, I do miss living here. That's
Yes.
for sure. Hopefully I'll be back sooner than later.
I hope so. The other thing about driving a car of this vintage, you always feel like a rock star because everybody that sees you coming does,
Yeah.
and or you get honks and thumbs up out the window, and so you always feel kind of special when you're driving this.
Isn't that kind of funny that a vehicle like this can elicit such positive response? It doesn't matter age or...
It's just, I think it's a respect for the longevity of something lasting, you know? Like this,
Yes.
This car has seen, you know, a number of wars, one World War and another. It was made just after the First World War. And here we are today, and it's still going.
I think that's so incredible. What a piece of history.
Yeah, there are very few left like this original around. And the wooden wheels are all wooden spokes.
Right?
I think they're hemlock, if I remember right.
Hemlock, okay.
It's a very strong wood.
Jeff, I hope so.
Sorry, friends of mine. Pardon the curve here.
Yeah. Glad the door's staying shut.
Yeah. Well, I showed you the secret.
Yeah.
There have been times it's popped open, but I always have my hand ready to grab people.
Who needs a
in the right
seatbelt?
way.
Yeah. Who needs a seatbelt?
That's right. They weren't thought of back then. The cushions are filled with old hair, and I mean, and they're big coils, and they're filled with stuffed hair. And
Yep.
they're just much like they used to insulate houses with horsehair or whatever they had.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it just creates enough, and it's very comfortable, actually.
Well, this car and the Mercedes I just bought have one thing in common.
What's that?
Coil springs in the seats and horsehair stuffing.
No way.
Seriously.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yep. Not the one I drove tonight. The one that I bought one to restore. A little
That's really
project
cool.
car.
That's really cool.
And they have, well, it feels just like this. It's super comfortable.
Yeah, I'm happy all day sitting in this.
I bet.
The only thing is the sun gets a little bright after a while, so I often drive with the roof up. You still enjoy everything, but
Oh,
you don't
sure.
get the sun making you. Especially this summer when it was so hot. But this is a thermosiphon engine, so the cooling system just drags it through. There's no water pump or anything on this.
Okay.
And do you know what? It's never overheated on me. And I've had it out for some long drives on hot days. I just keep the water topped up, and I just use water because I drain it out every fall.
Right. Oh, so it's fine, sure.
Yeah, I don't trust things enough. I don't want a cracked block if I don't winterize it properly.
Well, no, and good luck trying to find an appropriate replacement.
That's right. So now I'm going to signal where I'm turning. This is the high-tech signals of the 30s.
But it never fails.
Never fails. People get a little confused by the right turn.
Right.
And I've had people wave at me thinking I'm waving at them, but I was just telling them I was turning right.
Oh, what fun. This is great.
You'll have to drop by and more rides over time.
Okay. You're on.
On a nice warm day, it's a lot of fun.
I bet. I know there'll be a lot of people watching this saying, yeah, but it doesn't do 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. It does not matter.
That's not the purpose of this.
No.
It's to enjoy. I drive all day, every day, and I don't notice half the things I notice when I'm in the car.
Yep.
You see the first leaves starting to turn.
Yes, yes.
Things you just race by, normally in a hurry.
Well, it's an occasion. It really is. And it's a special one.
And you think about even, if you think back in history, what people were wearing
Yep.
when they used to drive this. It would be now our Sunday best that they would wear every day. Their suits and
Yes.
their dresses and getting in and out. Like, it's just
Quite a different time.
very different time. They didn't dress like this.
I'd have to imagine when these first came out in what, about 08, 09? Somewhere around
Yeah,
there?
I don't know. I think you're right, somewhere around there. The last Model T was produced a year after this one, 1927,
Right.
and then they started the Model A production.
And even then, it had to carry over the 4-cylinder.
And it was funny because a lot of the early Model A's used a lot of Model T parts.
Yes, yeah.
Because they were very frugal, you know. They'd been through war and they were going into the Great Depression at that time in the early 30s.
Well, that was sort of Henry Ford's claim to fame. Like, he was very frugal.
Yeah, and these cars were ultra cheap when they were put out at first. And he did the same with his tractors, his Ford tractors. He
Yes.
made them really cheap so they'd appeal to anybody, and he undercut everybody else. But they've stood the test of time.
So sort of transitioning into tractors, since we're talking about Ford,
Yeah.
was Ford and Ford Son two different brands, or was it?
Well, Fordson, do you know what? I don't know. Fordsons were never popular around here
Ah, okay.
very much. They were very popular in England.
I see, okay. Okay.
So I don't know the history. I've never been a real Ford tractor fan. I have one because it belonged to my grandfather's twin brother,
Okay.
and that's the first one in the garage on the left. But they were never, I've always enjoyed the Farmalls and the Olivers. And
Right.
I guess I like the bright colors, the reds and the greens. And then there's the one that's on the lawn there. That's
Yes.
a McCormick Deering 1020, 1936.
Oh my goodness.
That one would have been gray when it was first produced, most likely. Either it may have been an early red one, but it was likely gray. Yeah,
Remarkable.
back in one piece, Kurt.
Well, there was never any doubt on my part.
Well, I'm glad you weren't doubting.
Okay, I just have to unfold myself and we'll be good.
I know we long-legged people have trouble in cars like this.
Okay.